Hello. This video is going to be about the simple past, its negative and question forms. So here we have two examples. It says, I didn't like the movie. And did you go to the beach last year? So as we can see, we use did for both negative and questions. So did here and did here. In the negative, we use did not or didn't. And in questions, did before the subject. So in negative, two more examples are, I didn't go to the store yesterday and I didn't buy anything. So as we can see, we start with the subject and then the did not or didn't, did not, didn't, then the verb. We don't put it in past. We don't put it in past because did is already in past. So it would be double negative, so no. So it would be double past actually. So it says, I didn't go to the store yesterday. So the verb just like normal. And they did not buy anything, or they didn't buy anything. The verb normal because the past is already here in the did. And the not for negative. So like we said, did not, and its contraction is didn't, whichever one we want to use when we write it or speak it. Here are three sentences that are missing the verb, and they all have to be in negative. So let's start with the first one. I vegetables when I was young. So we have the verb like, and we have to make it negative. So how can we do that? So the answer would be, what do you think? The answer would be, I didn't like vegetables when I was young. Or I did not like vegetables when I was young, whichever one we want. The second one says Diana, her driving test until she was 23. So the verb has to be take and negative, not. So how can we make that negative? Yeah, so it would be Diana didn't take her driving test until she was 23. And the last one says she in Guanajuato. So the verb has to be live and it has to be negative. So how do we do that one? Yep, so it would be she didn't live in Guanajuato. Like we said, did not, the not for negative, the did to say that's in the past, and the verb, just like we don't do anything to it. It's in simple form. But what about questions? Here we have three questions. And it says, did you finish your work? Then the answer can be, yes, I did, or no, I didn't. So depending on what our answer is, if we did or we didn't finish the work, those are the answers. Yes, I did. No, I didn't. Then the second one says, why did she send me a message? This one, the answer would be whatever reason she had. So she wanted to ask you a question, or she wanted to tell you something that she found out. The third one, what did they do yesterday? So they watched a movie. Maybe they did that, or they cleaned their house, whatever it is they did. So as we can see with questions, we use did as well. First we use did, then the subject, then the verb in simple form, like we don't add anything, and then the complement, and finally we add the question mark. And if we start the question with did, that means it's a yes, no question. The answers can only be yes or no. But we can add the WH word in order to make it a different, make it the answer be for more information, in order to find out more information. Just like here, why did she send me a message? So first WH, then did, subject, verb in simple form, and then the complement. And the same here, WH, did, subject, verb in simple form, and complement. Like we said, since did is in the past already, the verb doesn't change, it's just simple form. So here we have 3 unscrambled questions. Each of them is a question. And I want you to order them in order to be correct, structured question. I'm going to give you a few seconds. You can pause the video and then work on it, and we'll check the answers in a few seconds. Okay, so let's start checking the exercises. Number 1, it has question mark, home, walk, did she. So we can start with did, because there is no WH, so we start with did, then the subject, she, then the verb in simple form, walk, then complement and question mark. So it would be, did she walk home? Did she walk home? That would be number 1. What about number 2? How do we start number 2? So we have you question mark, when did go on vacation? So we have when, which is WH, so we can start with that, when. Afterwards, we need the auxiliary, did, so when did, which one's the subject? The subject would be you. So when did you, then the verb in simple form, go, complement, on vacation, question mark. When did you go on vacation? When did you go on vacation? And the last one, do what last week did they, question mark. So which one do we start with? So we have here the WH. So we start with what, then did, then the subject, they, verb in simple form, do, complement, last week, question mark at the end. So it's what did they do last week? So those are the answers. Did she walk home? When did you go on vacation? And what did they do last week? So as we saw, this one would be yes, no. Did she walk home? Yes, she did. No, she didn't. And this one, these other 2 questions actually give us more information. So depending on what answers we want is the questions that we make. And finally, here we have some past time expressions. These expressions can be used in the simple past in affirmative, negative, question, whichever one. So we have last. We can say last night, last week, last month, last year, and last summer. So all of these expressions are to say when something happened. So we can say, I went to the store last night. I went to the store last week. I went to the store last month, last year, last summer, last winter, last spring. Then we have ago. We can say, I visited my grandparents 2 days ago. I visited my grandparents 3 weeks ago. I visited my grandparents 4 months ago, or I visited my grandparents 6 years ago. So the difference, if we can see, for this last and ago, is that ago is like a specific number of time since it has happened 3 weeks ago, 4 months ago. Then we also have yesterday. So yesterday is just the day before yesterday. So we can say I did exercise yesterday, or we can be more specific by saying I did exercise yesterday morning. I did exercise yesterday afternoon. I did exercise yesterday evening, or I did exercise the day before yesterday. But we don't say yesterday night. That's wrong, because yesterday night would be last night. So no yesterday night, only the other ones. And finally, we have in. So we can say that something happened in 1992, it happened in the 1960s, in the 15th century, whenever it happened. So in is like specific to a certain time, like more specific than like last or yesterday, or like the other ones. So this is like a specific day. So in 2006, in September, in October, whenever it happened, specifically. And that's it for this video. Yes, I hope that it was clear and that it was helpful. And that would be all. Bye.